So as many of you guys know, I've been a Subaru fan for the past 10 and a half years. This is my 2012 Subaru Forester. This is my first ever Subaru I've ever got. My family got was 10 and a half years ago when we first bought this vehicle. And this is my first time I've ever got into Subarus. And over the past couple years, you know, I've experimented with different types of Subarus. I had multiple Subaru Outbacks before owning my 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness. And let me tell you something about the Wilderness. The Wilderness is very fun to drive because, especially when you take it to the mountains and take it off-roading, it's a sight to sore eye to say that these cars are really good. They're high off the ground. These are about 7.5 inches of ground clearance, but the Subaru Outback Wilderness is only about 9.5 inches of ground clearance, and they can handle a lot of rougher terrains as you go because they're more the Geolander off-roading tires in all seasons. They handle a lot better. They have more grip. They have more. But let's say this car has the Geolander tires that have more grip. And like I said, for the past 10 and a half years, I've experimented with Subarus. But with this car, with 105,000 miles right now, and for the past 10.5 years, we've gotten a lot of adventures with this car. I've taken it to California, from Colorado to California and back. Took it across country multiple times. I took it from Colorado to Maine and back. And like I said, this car has been great. I took it to Estes Park on a half tank of gas, and this still gets really good gas mileage. I was kind of averaging about half a tank of gas, but like I said, this handles great. Subaru has that longevity from the past, has really good reliability and great gas mileage. They have really good maintenance and all the stuff. But like I said, in the car community, I've been following with Subarus. I follow a lot of Subaru pages on my Instagram. If you guys go follow me on Instagram at Driven Gears Automotive, make sure to go follow there. Also, I do have another Instagram called Subaru Rally Technica. Go follow that too. I'll also link that down. And like I said, I have a friend who's also in the off-roading community. My friend Aiden Harold, I've known since high school. He has a 2008 Toyota. He has a 2008 Toyota 4Runner. And like I said, he's done a lot of maintenance to his vehicle that I don't want to do on fine. So I want to do. So what he has a the HD projector LED fog lamps that's hanging on the side. Change the headlights to LEDs. For me, I also want to do that to the Forester too. I want to change the halogen light bulbs to the LEDs, kind of make it more fancier, look at more newer, look at more modern. I do want to clean out the plastic of these headlights, but like I said, he's done a lot of maintenance and work. He's customized his car. He put a light bar across the rails. Like I said, follow Aiden Harold. He has a really good channel, but he has a really good Instagram page, 4th Gen 4Runner, which is, I think it's his Instagram link. I'll put in the link down below. Go follow the 4th Gen 4Runner. But this is the car that has taken me there and back, for the past 10 and a half years. And so let's focus attention on, well, are Subarus worth it? So I've been looking at Donut Media for a long time, for the past few months to a year. So I've known about their videos. They talk about a lot of Subarus. They talk about different cars and even, the history of vehicles and all the stuff. I've known these guys for the past year, I think. I don't know them personally, but I've known them. I've watched them. But like I said, they made a video just recently about their Subaru STI that took on track. But the problem is that the stock motor broke down because it was a freshly built project vehicle. Their motor broke down, and they stripped the entire engine down. They come to a conclusion that there was multiple piston ring failure, rod bearing failure, oil starvation problems too, which is kind of giving Subaru a more of a bad reputation in their whole longevity. And that's kind of what's pissing me off, is because you're not taking care of the vehicles that they're supposed to be doing, because you can't take a project car and just run around on track with it, because you have to spend a long time at low RPMs to make sure that the engine is well lubricated, make sure the oil is going good, make sure that every moving part is moving. You just can't take a freshly built project car to higher and higher speeds, because you're producing a lot more heat and oil starvation problems that go into. And it's kind of what's kind of pissing me off, because they're putting a bad reputation on Subaru's part, which is, like I said, I know it's not their fault, but like I said, but that's partially their fault, because, like I said, they took a project car. You can't do that to a racetrack at higher speeds. They had to tear the entire engine apart. But I'm not placing any blame there. But like I said, when you're taking a project car, a new engine, well, you can't do that, because you have to make sure that you know about these engines. Make sure you have to know the behavior of the engines. Make sure that the oil's going good. Like I said, all that maintenance you have to go. You have to spend thousands of miles to know the new engine, because you have to make sure all the parts are moving perfectly. Because boxer engines are a little bit different than regular engines. They're not the pistons that go up and down and start combustion. No, they do it side to side, which it kind of makes it a little bit more complicated. Because when you're maintaining a boxer engine, you still have to do your oil changes every 5,000 to 7,000 miles. And like I said, boxer engines are a little bit different. But like I said, make sure that you know the longevity of the car brand before you first know about it. Because make sure you do a lot of research. Make sure that these engines are really good. What is the practicality of these cars? How many? Because they have to make sure that you know about like I said, you have to make sure that you know about the maintenance and the maintenance cost. You have to make sure you know about the recalls they put on their cars to make before you even get one. And that's kind of what's kind of telling me about Donut Media's videos for the past Subarus. Well, do you know about the recalls on these vehicles? What problems they have with their vehicles before you even first get one? And that's kind of what makes sense about that. You have to know what the recall is before you even buy one. How much money are you getting for these vehicles if you buy it used or buy it new? Because the new car markets are going very astronomically high, and the used car market is the same thing too. Because the average car prices for newer cars are about $33,000 to $50,000, but this car back in 2012 was about $20,000. And I know about the longevity of these Foresters. These are the third-gen Foresters. I know they have their problems with their older engines, but let me tell you something. These are not the engines that the third-gen beginning had to the ones now. Back in because this is I'm going to tell you something. Buy cars that they're the second to last of their generation. So this is at 2012. The third gen lasted from 2009 to 2013, which is a 2012. So you buy the second to last of the generation, because you know what the maintenance and the reliability of these vehicles. And like I said, you have to look at the recall list, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Look at all the recalls they have. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of other vehicles like Kias. Kias have multiple problems, with a lot of problems: piston ring failure, crankshaft failure. I'm not a big fan of GM as well, because of the electrical problems. They have the same problems that Kia has. But Japanese cars, they have a tendency to be a lot reliable than most other cars. Toyotas, like I said, they last a very long time. They're well made. They're well lubricated. Everything moves accordingly. I've seen people who've carried their Toyotas for decades, and they still run good. They can last for 300,000 to 500,000 miles, and like I said, that can go a long time because of how well they're made. And like I said, these cars are really good maintenance cars, but you have to know what you're doing before you actually take a freshly built project car on track, or actually know what vehicle you're trying to get. It's kind of what I'm saying to Donut Media. You just can't, just tell yourself hey, I want to buy this car just because I want to do this, but I want to tell I want to tell them like, well, what is the longevity of this car? You know, how many recalls does this car have? And you know how much maintenance and how much money you're going to spend on making videos, because like I said, if you're tearing down an engine and replacing the engine, oh my god, you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars out of your money just to make new engines. You know, it's kind of dumb to say that, because like I said, you're spending thousands of dollars on new engine that you're going to put into your new car and then blow it up again. It's not the way to go. Taking the STI, you know, you're going to have turbocharger problems, because some of these engines that they had, they known to eat turbochargers too. They're also known to shred their gears when you're kind of shifting from fifth to sixth gear or something like that. You know, they're known for eating the fourth or fifth. You know, and like I said, you have to know about what these vehicles before you spend out of your pocket. You know, spend thousands and thousands of dollars out of your pocket just to make sure, well, I'm gonna get this everything fixed in my car, which I'm going to blow it up again. It's kind of what I'm saying, but they're just putting in this as, I lost my train of thought. It's just that they're trying to put a poor reputation on Subaru, and people are going to hate Subarus because they're known for that problem. It's not just the Subarus who have that problem. It's the people who make videos and they take the Subarus, they didn't do any maintenance. They're not doing the oil changes. And it's kind of, okay, I'm just kind of rambling a little bit there. Sorry about that. So basically what I'm trying to say is they're putting a bad reputation on Subaru. It's just because it's the person that's not doing the proper maintenance to their vehicle. They didn't change the oil, you know, every 5 to 7,000 miles, and they have oil starvation problems because people are not taking care of their vehicles. They have bad head gaskets because people are not taking care of them. And it's kind of, think about why cars often fail. It's not just because the company's bad, it's the people who take care of them, or the lack of people who take care of them. They just kind of neglect it. They don't do the maintenance because they don't know how to, or they want to spend thousands and thousands or hundreds of dollars to get to a mechanic and fix it. You have to make sure that your car is well maintenance, because you know your car may fail and not last a long time. Some of these cars cannot go over 100,000 miles, like Kias or something like that. Hyundais, they can't go over 100,000 miles before breaking. It's the whole company's fault too with Kias, because their robots fail and they can't make their vehicles right. But it's partially our people are taking care of it, or was the company is not taking, it's not building them correctly. It's basically half and half. So that's basically I wanted to say to a message to Donut Media. Like I said, you have to know the longevity of these vehicles. You have to do a lot more research to these vehicles before you even get one. You just can't, you have to baby a new engine, because like I say, it takes a long time to actually make sure that the new engine is fully working, make sure that every part is working correctly. You just can't roll around or fool around with a new engine and just take it at higher speeds where it's going to collect a lot of heat and blow up. Like I said, I'm just trying to say, you have to take care of these vehicles, because these vehicles are a lot different than your normal average vehicle. Basically, that's what I'm saying. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.